Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Post-Match Carnage. This time to talk about Liverpool 1. I should say Spurs 1 because they were the home side. Spurs 1, Liverpool 1. Halftime in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Liverpool put in a very, very lethargic, hard to watch display. Probably for the second game in a row. But we will get into it. We will discuss. First and foremost, thank you very much for joining us. Secondly, we'd even thank you even more if you could hit that like button. Thirdly, if you could subscribe, that would be amazing as well. To join me to discuss that hard watch is Lewis. Lewis, hello,
Yeah,
mate.
hello.
How are we?
Oh, mate, so many things, so many emotions. I'm all right. I'm okay. Look, awful. Like you said, that was lethargic. That was slow. That was so off the pace. But the one caveat I can think of, the one positive, is I'd rather lose in this match than I would in the league at the moment. So I'm down. I'm miserable. I'm sad. But there is always a worse time to lose. I would rather lose this game than I would lose that Forest game or that United game. So poor, but we could be worse.
There's not a team on the planet that doesn't have a blip throughout a season. There's not a team that doesn't go through a rough patch, a sloppy patch, a lethargic patch. Call it what you want. I think it's fair to say we're going through our one now. Obviously, the draw against Fulham, which was different set of circumstances, the Newcastle draw, which was a different set of circumstances. Then Man United, and today finally we succumb and we actually lose a game as opposed to get away with a draw. We thought we are going to get away with a draw when the offside goal went in, but alas, it wasn't to be. But like you said, it's if we're going to have our sloppy patch, a rough patch, and our first loss in 24, I'm so glad that
Yep.
it's the Carabao Cup, Lewis. I think that you make a
Yep.
fantastic point because we may be down, some more than others, but we're definitely not out. We're definitely not out.
Nah, man. Look, this isn't over. And I still stand by, of the three teams we could have got, Tottenham were the one I wanted. Today they had suspensions. This could have gone a completely different way had James Maddison been there, had Sarr been in there. And the return leg, we're only 1-0 down. It's at Anfield. This is still a very open Tottenham team who, despite the fact that we weren't good going forward today, particularly, we didn't look very good getting in behind, didn't create a vast amount of chances, there were still chances there. So if this was an Arsenal or a City of last year or
Yeah.
some other teams who were very good astute defensively, I think they're going to shut up shop. This is done, essentially. This is a very open Tottenham team who we know like to stick to the principles, who we know like to push forward and like to create space to create attack. So we're still in this. This is not over. We just got to, it's a month away. We've got plenty of games in between now and then to focus on to build players up. We've got a nice weekend off against Accrington, who, no disrespect to them whatsoever, but we can rest a few players, get them ready for Forest, and then build some momentum. So we are still in this, but there's bigger fish to fry in a sense. As much as I don't know about you, Grizz, I love the Carabao Cup as much as people underestimate it. I think trophies are the greatest thing, whether it's the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. And if you're going through one of these transition seasons, winning a trophy along the way is the nicest way to keep things progressing smoothly. So as much as I adore the Carabao Cup, there are bigger fish to fry out there at the moment.
Yeah, look, we don't like using that term because it kind of seems like we're disrespecting the trophy that you're playing in, but you're right. Absolutely, it's the fourth priority. But when you get to the semi-final, you want to get to the final and you want to win it. And I think that showed, I guess, in the lineup, right? Fairly strong lineup. Both fullbacks rested. Jota replaces Diaz up front, and the rest pretty much full strength. So, apart from Konate, and obviously because he came back from a slight injury, Kwanzaa started the game and just didn't look right from the start, Lewis. I think that aided the bit of a patchy and rough start as well. Both fullbacks looked very rusty. Kwanzaa looked rusty, and I think that was shown in the first, I don't know, half an hour where we just couldn't get a grip of the game. I thought it was probably our most awkward first 30 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Look, if you're Tottenham and you're coming into this game and you're seeing Tsimikas and Van Dijk on one side and Quansah and Bradley on another, you know which side you're going for. You know which side you're going to attack for. And like the average heat map of the game, Son was very much to the left wing the whole match. Bentancur at the time he was on. Hope he's okay, by the way. You know everything that went on with him. They were very much glued to the left hand side of the pitch, and you could tell that they were looking at Bradley and Quansah as that weakness. There was space in between them in the half spaces. They were aggressive and a lot of long balls over the top to deal with. And I think you're absolutely right. Quansah didn't look settled to begin with. Bradley looked very sort of off the pace. He struggled to maintain his position. He often got forward, wasn't the fastest tracking back. And yeah, it took growing in. And I think the lengthy break, albeit, the circumstances were horrible, of course, but I think the lengthy break sort of helped us a little bit to sort of calm it down a bit. It gave Slot that time to go to Van Dijk to spread to the defenders, just slow it down. We're okay. It started off how Tottenham wanted, very aggressive, very front-footed, and that was
They were very aggressive, and I knew they were very aggressive, and I knew they're going to be very aggressive. The midfield that they picked obviously lacked the creativity of Maddison, but it was increased with the work rate and endeavour of Stephen. Is it Stephen or Lucas Bergwijn? Lucas Bergwijn, I beg you say. Yeah. Stephen Bergwijn was that winger they had from Holland. But
yeah.
I knew their midfield would be far more combative, and I tweeted it and I said, this is going to be a totally different game. I actually went for a 0-0. Don't know if you saw my tweets, and it was so close to being absolutely spot on. And then I said, maybe this got Nunes winner, and Nunes was clean through, and he should have scored that winner. But listen, we won't get into too many. Well, we may touch on individual performances because I guess, but look, the fullback started off rough, but I thought they grew into it. Quansah goes off, and I think when Endo came on, I don't know about you, but it gave me a bit more surety. It looked a bit more calmer when Endo came on. Obviously, the clamour's going to be for a centre-back now because Quansah goes off injured. We don't know the severity of it yet. If Slot mentions it, or if there's any sort of tweets or anything from the journalists, let us know if there's any update. I doubt if there's much of an update this soon on Quansah. He'll be monitored and checked out, of course. Let us know. But Lewis, the clamour as soon as Quansah goes off will be for a centre-back this window. But has Endo staked a claim? Because so far he's been immaculate in that centre-back role when he's come in.
Yeah, he looked good. And I was very worried in the sense of, God love Endo because he's so mature, like his footballing brain. He's so intelligent. He knows where to position himself. He's one of these players who doesn't rely on pace. His positioning's top tier. But against like Son, Bergwijn, as you said, Solanke, I thought he might struggle with pace, but he was really, really good. And when he did move into that DM position, that's when he struggled most in this match. So, look, the clamour is going to be for a centre-back. But say if Robertson got injured, the clamour would be for a left-back. If Darwin got injured or Jota again, it'd be for a striker. Football is the most reactionary sport on the planet. As soon as someone gets injured, the solution is simply go in the market, sign someone to do it. That's not going to happen. We saw that with Kabak and Ben Davies when we signed them. That's not the way we particularly do business, as much as we maybe should do. And I'm very happy in the sense of when Khanage got injured, obviously Gomez stepped in. The game Gomez got injured, Khanage was fit for the very next one. And then as soon as he comes back again, Quansah goes off. So we've been getting very lucky in that sense with centre-backs.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, now? Because now we're treading on thin ice. Because you're right, we've been able to sub in, sub out players when they get injured and another one comes back. So we know that Gomez is about 3 weeks away. All right. So if Gomez is about 3-4 weeks away, Konate's just come back. Now it seems Quansah may be missing for a lengthy time. We don't know because these kind of injuries, we don't know because it was seeming to pointing towards his chest or rib area or something. So that will need a scan, that will need monitoring, that will need calming down. We don't know. If we try to attack the centre-back market, we have to think of someone who's basically going to be third or fourth choice for now, but a prospect that could grow into that role. They just don't grow on trees. Now, I know the clamour is going to be mad. Go and get X, Y, Z, but our scouting network and our team and our coaches just won't panic and think like that, guys.
No.
You look and tweet away and scream away and moan away and say, "Oh, this, that." They just won't look at it, because if Konate is fit and Kwanzaa's not seriously injured, and Endo's being used as that fifth striker, centre back, I should say, we won't dip into the market. I'm just pretty certain we won't, guys. People shouting for Hato in the chat. Of course, Hato is a fantastic young prospect, left-sided centre back stroke, can play left back as well. And I know we've been scouting, we have got our eyes on him, but I think that's a summer target. But look, we'll get into that. 320 of you guys in here. We should be on 150 likes minimum. If we're not, fix up, look sharp. Unlike Liverpool today, we didn't look much. We looked better, Lewis. We didn't look sharper, though. We looked better. We grew into the game. We gained a bit of control. I say control because there was no clear-cut chances, apart from Alisson when he done that. And I think you didn't finish off your sentence in the WhatsApp group. You just said, "I shit." That's all you said. So I don't know what you meant. Can you clarify what you meant? Because
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
I mean, look, Alisson is the best goalkeeper I've ever seen play for my club. Alisson is one of the greatest goalkeepers of the Premier League era. But I hate Alisson with the ball at his feet, Lewis. Explain what I mean.
No, look, Alisson is one of the most composed people on the planet in terms of a goalkeeper. And, I think he's warranted the sort of do whatever you want kind of category. But the thing that stressed me out with it wasn't the first one, because that can happen. A player can put pressure on you. They can get the ball off you. It was the second time he lost it that really stressed me out, because if you're a goalkeeper and you've just had that scare, they're directly behind you. Ronaldinho used to do it all the time. He used to hover behind the goalkeepers and tackle it off them as soon as he dropped it. That the striker or the attacker or Bergwijn at this point was right behind you. Just get rid of it. Don't try and be smart. Don't try and be clever, because there's no point to it. And if it is a case of we want to pass it out the back, there's still 3 other players dotted around us. So I don't know what the plan was. And I want to get your thought on this really quick, Grizz, because it felt like today, in the first half in particular, we were causing our own issues with the passing. It just felt like we were risky passing at points, and it was pointless, causing us issues.
Yeah, the midfield press from Spurs was totally different, and we didn't adapt accordingly. I thought our passing was way too risky. We didn't adapt. Normally, Slot adapts the tactics mid-game, half-game, quarter-game, but we didn't. We kept trying to play precise, slow, ponderous passes that didn't serve any benefit, and they had amazing energy. I just want to pull out Emeka Agu says, "Grizz is low-key turning into a happy clapper." Sad. What the fuck do you mean by that? You absolutely.
I think you clap when the plane lands, is what he's saying.
I mean, I don't know what he means. Do I look happy? Do I look happy? I look sad. I'm tired. They put in an awkward performance, hard to watch if you watch the start of the show. And I just don't think we're out of it. And I don't think it's a disaster. Am I a prick for being that? No. Are you a prick for coming on my channel and calling me a happy clapper? Yes, you're a prick. So shut your mouth. Watch the show if you want to. If you don't want to watch it, get out of here. Happy clapper. You know what I mean? I don't want to believe some of the things they say on here. Like Liverpool literally put in with 2 defeats out of 28 games all season, and you want me to come in and ripping off players' heads and shit. Go to other channels that do that kind of shit. Go on, piss off. I don't need you on this channel to do that. I'm sad. I'm frustrated with our performance today. It was not good enough. It was lethargic. We're going to talk about individuals. We've already spoke about Alisson's ability with the ball at his feet. We've talked about both fullbacks. We talked about Kwanzaa not being good enough. And now we're going to go into the midfield. And look, the question arises with the first super chat, the Curtis Jones slot. Got to stop persisting with Jones at the 10. Jones didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great game. I don't like him in this 10, Lewis. I like him much better in the controller role when he's deeper. I don't think he's fast, incisive, direct enough to play in the number 10. What do you think?
No, I agree. Look, Curtis Jones is a very talented player. And I think the big issue is McAllister and Gravenberch have just done such a good job in that double pivot. the thought of moving either of them further forward is just not an option. So your only real option there is Jones, unless you want to play Harvey Elliott, who we might mention at some point, but I was a bit surprised he didn't get game time. Jones is just, I completely agree. He's better in that holding role. I think he's better at tracking back than he is going forward in particular. And like, statistically for this game today, he was very poor. He won 50% of his ground duels, which isn't bad. He lost possession 6 times. He made 3 tackles, which isn't awful, but he just takes too long on the ball. He's just so, I don't think indecisive is the word. I just think he thinks he's got longer on the ball than he does. He can't quite match the intensity and pace of the league at some points, as horrible as it is to say. But against this Tottenham team who are relentless in the press, you don't have, if anything, you've got less time than you normally would. So he just needs to release it a bit quicker. And there's a Hungarian elephant in the room who Soboslai, or not in the room, should I say, in Soboslai, who
I wish he was in the room.
quick.
I wish he was
I
in the
wish
room.
he was. I wish he was. He's so quick. It's his biggest asset that doesn't get talked about is how quick he is at passing it off to players, especially Salah. And Jones just doesn't have that quick, instinctive pass in him. He wants to drive the ball forward. He wants to progress play and create space for others. And as good as that is, this isn't the game to do it. This is, you need quick tempo, one touch pass football. And Jones just that's not his specialty. So
yeah, look, it's one of those ones where you have to adjust to the game, right? If you see the tempo of the game is different, where it's quicker and it's faster, you have to adapt. And I think Curtis Jones stays in the same motion, same speed, same thought process. He likes to be in control. Have you noticed when he goes into a challenge and someone tries to outmuscle him, right? He'll forget what he needs to do, which is release the ball. He'll try to outmuscle the guy and win the physical battle because he is quite strong, right? Physically.
Yeah.
But sometimes use your nous. You don't try to win your personal duel. Like, of course, win your personal duel. But if it's to the detriment of the team, don't. If you can pass it off quicker and release it, do that. Because it seems like he goes back for more when there's no need. And look, he doesn't. The pace of the game was too quick. He just didn't adjust. Now, obviously, the question arises, what does Harvey Elliott need to do to get a chance? Again, Harvey Elliott not even coming off the bench. Was you surprised with that? I was.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I thought he was going to start. I didn't think Jones was getting into this game starting 11. Not as a dig, but we've got to rotate. The only thing I can think is maybe he's got an eye on him playing in the next 2 games, but Elliott does not deserve to not have minutes in that game because he, as much as he's maybe not the finished article, he brings that sort of desire and energy to it that maybe Jones didn't have in this match. And I can't see a reason why he wouldn't start. I don't know if it was the tactics. I don't know what he needs to do to break into this team because I just felt Jones today, like you said, he didn't adjust to it very well. And like his average position on the pitch, like I'm looking at it now, Jota, Jones and Gravenberch were all so grouped together. There's a massive space on the left-hand side.
Can you bring it up by any chance? Can you bring it up by any chance? Bring it up.
Yeah, not a problem.
Have a look at it while I read out this super chat. Michael Real Schmikey says, big up, Uncle, we still love you. And then he says something that I can't say on the Liverpool channel. So, but thank you for the super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Look, 2 bunched up. Look at that midfield, man. That's pretty much how it was, right? To be honest with you, it was just way too bunched. I mean, it was. Go on.
No, you absolutely. You made a good point, like in the chat, actually saying that the midfield are cancelling each other out, and I think that's just us not creating enough chances through the middle for ourselves. We were so bunched up in the middle, and everyone out wide was pushed way out wide, and it was just, if the ball wasn't going long, there was no creativity or anything going through the middle. And throughout this season, the biggest strength that we've had has been draw opposition to the centre backs, one quick ball through the middle into Gravenberch, and there's plenty of options going
Lewis's
forward.
Wi-Fi, guys? Am I still here? Oh, he's back. He's back. You just lost you for a little while there. Sorry, Lewis. Say that again because I think we lost you for a little while.
Well, I was just saying, like, the biggest strength we've had this season has been the defenders draw attackers towards him, create space in the middle for Gravenberch, who then receives the ball, turns, and there's suddenly 4 or 5 options for him. Whereas now in this match, it just felt like everyone was so huddled together. The only way you were going to get a chance was a long ball to either Salah or Gakpo, who was so isolated with no support other than the fullbacks. And it just felt so devoid of options, so devoid of opportunities going forward. And, we're going through individuals, and I'm sure Jota's someone we'll touch on, but I forgot he was on the pitch. I don't know about you. I completely forgot Diogo Jota was even playing in this match.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where he's been out for so long. He's had little cameos here and there. First time he starts, I think he's excused. I don't think he's the one we need to look at per se. I'd rather look at people that are fighting for their place. Jones has got a chance to capitalize on Szoboszlai's illness to make that position his own. I don't think he has. Tsimikas, don't know what your thoughts are on Tsimikas. I thought Bradley grew into the game and was making tackle after tackle and putting his life on the line, and I loved it. He did start it off a bit rusty, which is understandable. Tsimikas grew into it as well. I don't know what your thoughts are on Tsimikas. Did he show anything that suggests that he could be a number one fullback, a left back going into a season? Yeah. For me, it's a definite no. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, look, I think Tsimikas could go to 12 out of 20 teams in the Premier League and he'd be a starter. He's a good player. People will say he's not that good of a player. He's good. He's a very good player. And defensively, I think he's got a bit of pace about him. There was a couple moments in the first half in particular where I feel like he looked quite solid. It was that second half when he was trying to overlap Diaz. There was so much space in behind him, so many gaps. And I think that the first Tottenham goal, or their only Tottenham goal, stems from that, because there's such little cover in that left back spot because he's bombed so far forward. And I understand that's what Slot wants. I understand he wants his fullbacks to get forward, but it's his positioning, it's his sort of game management that Robertson has that he doesn't. I feel like Tsimikas has the physical attributes that Tsimikas has the physical attributes that we wish Robertson maybe had a couple seasons ago. The pace on him,
he had that. Yeah, but he had that. Robertson did have those physical attributes, the ability.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Up. Yeah, but Tsimikas doesn't play the percentages and isn't as safe as Robertson on the.
Yeah, I agree. He's all right. He's good. He's not a first teamer. He's not a starter for us. He's never going to be. He was brought in to be a backup, and this game just showed he's okay. He's one of those players where what he lacks in defensive ability, in a sense to Trent, he can make up for on set pieces and going forward. But he wasn't doing that today. So you can see the worst parts of him on display. And he was a part of that first goal, that goal being conceded. He was leaving lots of space. He's not the answer. And I was honestly surprised he stayed in this summer, not in a horrible way. I thought if a player was to go to bring in money, he seemed like the answer. So I would be shocked.
I thought he's nailed on to go. Obviously, too much turmoil, change, whatever. We thought, okay, we stick with him. And he's been a decent backup. I've never been convinced with Tsimikas. Again, one of those players that if we're challenging for the top honors, not for me. I just don't think his all-round game is good enough to be one of Premier League champions or Champions League.
He lost possession 17 times today.
Lord. And that's a fullback who normally has to play it safe and keep the ball moving over, right? That's mad.
Yeah.
Surge sends in a super chat. Big up Surge every time. Says, big up Grizz and Lewis. Hit the likes, people. We need 200 likes. No hate from me. I need Liverpool to batter them so Spurs don't make the final. Yeah, that's true. He's got his own agenda, but big up Surge every single time. There was another couple of not super chats, but comments that I wanted to talk through. Yeah, best player Liverpool was Virgil van Dijk. An absolute colossus. He was on his own. He was literally on his own, Lewis. All around him was all over the place. Gravenberch is going through a phase where he needs, I think, a whole week to 10 days off, Lewis. He's not playing bad. He's not having stinkers, but he's not showing the dynamism and the ability to cover ground and win duels all over the pitch like he was showing in the first quarter of the season. He just needs a rest, I think, and he'll be fine. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Look, I'm going the Accrington match on Saturday, and I pray I don't see any first teamers in that game. I don't want to see a single one unless they're on the
100%.
bench and it's just a last resort. Give Gravenberch the time off because I think you are absolutely right. He's played every minute of every league game, bar maybe one or two. I think he needs the rest. He needs to take this weekend off and just do whatever you need to do. And touching on Van Dijk, like that we've seen Salah this season has justified a new contract. Trent was justifying his new contract up until the United game, maybe in all the Madrid stuff, blah blah blah. That was Van Dijk's like, this is why you need to sign me. This is why you need to keep me at this team, because he had a defensive partnership of your backup left back, Quansah, replaced by a DM and Connor Bradley. And that's no disrespect to any of them, but he managed to coordinate that defense to a near clean sheet, and he was utter world class. That was one of the best Van Dijk games in a while, and it wasn't even. He just set the standard that high that he has to do that performance today, where he drags teams out of the mud and shows how good he is like that. Like that was a contract signing match. Give him what you need to keep him, because we talk about losing these big players. You lose Van Dijk. Oh, I don't want to imagine that world. So get him in the contract, because he was so good in the air. He was great on the ball. He coordinated Endo for a large portion of the game. Simicast covered him numerous times. Say what you want about the goal. Maybe could have
Oops, I
been
think we've
positioned
lost
better,
Lewis
but
again
that
there.
was. And I'm sort of here. I'm sort of not.
You're back now.
Hello?
Yeah,
Am I back?
you're back
It
now.
might be my
Yeah,
signal.
I think your
My
Wi-Fi is just.
girlfriend.
I think your Wi-Fi is inconsistent,
I think my
some of our
Wi-Fi is on
players,
tins.
like some
Yeah.
of our players, performances. But look,
Keep
I
going.
don't think. I think for the second half there was a period where I thought we were a little bit. I thought we were going to go on to get the winner. I thought their keeper was fantastic. He looked composed with the ball.
Yeah.
The saves he made.
Yeah.
I thought, how many times has a debutant been man of the match against us? But it is what it is. Look, we can't use that. We can't use that as an excuse. We just weren't good enough, I don't think, to win the game. I don't think we were that bad to lose the game. But when you play bad, and you just don't have any creativity about you, and the energy is not there, you're always susceptible to one counter attack or one break, and that's what happens. We got life with the offside goal, and then Bergwijn, who should have seen an absolute clear second yellow card, goes on to score the winner. Literally 2 minutes later, was it, guys? Let us know. I just, I mean, why always at Spurs? Why do these kind of decisions always happen at Spurs?
Mate, you know what? Right, I've tried to keep this very positive, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant
because
it's me.
Sorry,
I can waffle.
I beg your pardon. Sorry, it's me cutting out. Apparently,
see,
okay,
it's not me. Let's have this. But like, it's.
sorry.
Like, I can waffle for England when it's stuff like this, because the thing that irritates me is they make this big deal of VAR has been brought in for these Carabao Cup semi-finals, and we can do the incredible thing where we can hear the ref speak to the crowd, which the NFL did about 10 years ago. Well done. But you're telling me that you can't take the time. You can take 10 minutes to coordinate if a player's offside for that goal, which you could clearly see was, but you can't take 2 seconds to look at that, which should have been a second yellow. And I've heard people make the argument that, well, the first shouldn't have been a yellow. That's why they've not gone back and done it. Great. So that means a punishable offence is just to be discarded because he shouldn't have got the first one. That was the ref's decision. You have VAR there to overturn that rule if you think that it shouldn't have been a yellow card. It's a waste of time and money if you're not going to use the resources of VAR to do what it's put in for. And if there's things like that where a player is not being sent off who then dictates the game in such a major way, it's pointless having it there. And the people in charge, the people who are coordinating this, are meant to be the best in the sport at what they do. PGMOL, anyone who's in VAR, etc., etc. And VAR can't overturn a yellow. People are absolutely right. But why can you not retroactively go back and do that? Why can't you take your time and do it? They take the time to coordinate daft things like if a player's a millimetre offside. Take as long as you need. I don't care how long it takes. If you get the right decision and someone who should have been sent off doesn't stay on the pitch and score the winner, I've got no issue with it. It's pointless having it if you're not going to use it. And he should have absolutely been sent off. The first shouldn't have been a yellow, but it was. The second should have been a yellow, and it wasn't. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Either stick to the rules or don't. But don't lie to us and pretend like it didn't happen, because you just make yourself look like mugs and you make us feel like we've just wasted our time.
So some good news. Josh tells us that Grizz Arnie Slot has said Kwanzaa was ill rather than injured. So when he was pointing to his stomach, whatever, he was basically feeling ill, which is fine, which maybe explains his performance for the first, how long he was on the pitch, because it was an ill performance.
No, he's God love him. He's trying, and I think a quick thing on Kwanzaa is I think a lot of people underestimate just how important Klopp was in the way he played, because when you're in the youth systems, you spend your time playing the same style of football to when you do get to the first team, you can jump straight in. He spent his whole youth career in Liverpool playing this set way of football, to now he's in the first team after only his debut season, his first full season as a first teamer, under a new manager and a new system. So he's going to be out of sorts, and I honestly won't be surprised if he gets a loan out next season. It's going to take him time to adjust.
Possibly. I
still hold no ill will.
No, actually, you make a good point. Some called for a loan this season, but I think for his development after the season he had last season, it was good that he stays around. And maybe in a weird, strange way, maybe it's a blessing in disguise for sometimes certain players, young players, not to have an amazing rise all of a sudden, just to keep them level-headed and have a bit of a dip in form and know the reality of where they are, at what level they're playing, and what standards are required. So I'm a Kwanzaa fan overall. Absolutely, I'm a Kwanzaa fan. No one's going to tell me he's not a potentially a young, great centre-back. No one's going to tell me that. I believe he is. But he's going through a bit of a confidence crisis. He's going through a bit of a lack of experience. That's what it is. He needs to play more football. He needs to play at this highest level, and people will know about him more. So he's going to have to stand up and rise up. And maybe if we most certainly bring in a centre-back in the summer, maybe it means he can go out on loan. Szoboszlai infected the squad. I know that could actually be a thing, because Szoboszlai is ill, and obviously we know illness, now he's saying that Kwanzaa's ill. I hope not, but it is what it is. But look, we're not going to dwell on this too much. Hit the like button, everyone, guys. So many non-Liverpool fans in the chat telling us the wheels are coming off. You lot are finished, going to end up trophyless. This is what happens, Liverpool fan base. When you panic and you go mad and you play up to the hysteria, like other channels do. We don't do that on my channel. We stay calm. We stay relaxed. Nothing is lost. Nothing is gained. We're still in the best position we can possibly be in out of everyone else in the league. We must learn and we must improve. And yes, we will have Accrington Stanley in the week, but we have a whole week to prepare for that, which is now a monumental game against Forest away. Some people are even saying Forest will do us. If you think that, that's fine, no problem. I'm going to go into that game with confidence, and we will bounce back and we will get a result of what we need. We're still favourites for the league. Are you really writing us off in the League Cup just because we're 1-0 down at going home to Anfield? Have you not seen us before? Have you not experienced Liverpool coming back or being dead in the water? Would you rather be 1-0 down or 2-0 down, for example, like Arsenal in the other semi-final? I think nothing is lost. We were poor today. There's no harm in differentiating facts. The fact is we were very poor today. The fact is we can do much better individually, slot, players-wise, everything else. But to say we are panicking and we're finishing and we're finished, oh my God, the whole squad seems battered and tattered, it's just not my style. It's just not my opinion. But listen, everyone else can have their opinion. Ravi says, we go again, God willing, Jones doesn't play versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, I was going to say. Against Accrington Stanley, I'm with you, Lewis. No one, right? Literally no one. Nunes, yes. Elliot, yeah. Okay, from the squad today, who would you play? Very roughly. We'll probably have a look at it later on in the week. But on the top of your head,
No one. No, if it's starting 11, no one. No one in that
I'd
starting
go
11
same
should be.
fullbacks. I'd go same fullbacks.
Uh, there must be
What
so.
was
I
it?
mean, left back, we've got options, I guess.
Why
Like,
though?
is
Why?
that
Why? Why not?
because
Why not?
because we're going into this Forest game and we are starting to. I mean, maybe Bradley could if Trent's going to start against
Yeah, of
Forest
course he
because he
is.
did have a good time.
Yeah, of course he
I,
is.
I just, I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I'm looking at it and thinking it's League Two Accrington. Like, I just take it as a game off. But you watch. I say that now, and it'll be the game
But
which
look,
we.
no, I get it. No first teamers. I get it. No Virgil, no
Yeah, yeah.
McAllister, no Gravenberch, no Salah, no Diaz, Gakpo. I think Jota could do with another game. I think Elliot,
Mm,
Endo, both
Elliot
fullbacks.
should. Elliot should maybe
Elliot will
should have
start.
some sort of impact in this. Yeah,
Chiesa,
yeah.
Chiesa will start.
Yeah, I think there will be people on the bench who started, like I said,
Yeah.
Chiesa, Elliot. They'll definitely start. I mean, as in, like, I don't want to see a Gravenberch. I don't want to see a
No,
McAllister. I don't want to see a Van
absolutely.
Dijk, a Salah, anyone like that. I want to see like the likes of Jaden Dans. I want to see James McConnell. I want to see Tyler Moore, and I want to see those
Absolutely.
players more so.
Absolutely.
But like,
Absolutely.
I do agree with what you're saying, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, it is what it is. I think we're going to get into I think we're going to get into the Accrington Stanley game later on. But I think there's nothing much to say today. It was a horrible performance, lethargic performance. Liverpool are losing 1-0 at half time with the second half to be played at Anfield. Imagine writing us off. Imagine thinking the tie is over. Imagine falling for that same bullshit narrative like, oh, it's finished. How many times have people written us off at half time or Liverpool are finished? If you think that, that's fine. If you think that as a rival fan, I love it. If you think that as a Liverpool fan, I'm kind of embarrassed for you, to be honest with you. But listen, this has been Post-Match Carnage. Thank you, Lewis, for joining me. Thank you for the rest of you to join us. Smash the like, smash the subscribe, and we will see you again very, very soon. Take care. Peace.